Hi, this is Father Jim Martin. I'm an associate editor with America Magazine and author of My Life with the Saints. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about different ways to pray. And today we're going to talk about praying with and in nature. I'd like to share you a little bit about how much nature I have in my life. This is the view outside my window. You can see I have a tremendous amount of bricks facing me every day. So I don't get a whole lot of nature in my life. But when I do, I really appreciate it. Last weekend I was on a retreat at our Jesuit retreat house in Gloucester, Massachusetts, which looks like this. So I love going there, and I love sort of being in nature. Now, my idea of nature prayer changed a lot a few years ago. I was directing a retreat, and a woman came in, and I said, "How was your day today?" And she said, "Great, I hugged a tree." And I sort of laughed at her, and I thought she was kidding. Fortunately, I didn't laugh or smile at her. It's probably not a good idea to do in spiritual direction. But when I asked her what she meant, she said, "Well, I actually hugged this tree, and it really made me feel connected to the earth. When I felt its bark and I felt that I was holding on to something living, it made me appreciate God's creative activity in my life." And so something that I thought was, at first glance, funny turned out to be something that was very deep. I don't know why I should have been surprised. I've had a lot of very deep experiences of God in nature. One of my most vivid memories when I was a little boy was driving to school on my bike, and I used to have to cross this meadow in order to get to our school. And one day, springtime, I was in the middle of this meadow, and there were grasses and snapdragons and birds all over the place. And I just stopped and sort of looked around and took it all in, the smells, the sound, the sight especially, and felt so uplifted, and really, looking back, connected to God. I felt so much a part of what was around me and felt God kind of speaking to me through nature. Now, obviously, we don't say that a rock or a tree is God. We're not pantheists, but Ignatian spirituality is about finding God in all things. And so for a lot of people, spending time in nature, spending time even in something that's a very quiet setting, just walking across a field or on a beach, can be a very powerful way of not only calming yourself down, but also experiencing God right there. So it's not just a device. The very content of what you see around you is a way of connecting to God and feeling God's presence. Using nature in prayer is also helpful in terms of images of God. I'd like to share with you one that Jesuit shared with me a few years ago. He lives in California, and he says that whenever he goes to the beach and he feels a lot of stress, he uses the image of the ocean as God. The ocean, of course, is not God, but that's that image. And he goes to the ocean and he imagines the waves coming in, and then when they recede, they kind of take out all of his stress. And so he uses that as an image of giving his stress and his problems over to God and turning over his problems and his stress to God, which he images as the ocean, which is not such a bad image of God, sort of vast and powerful and quiet, that you can use in your prayer. I find that some of my most powerful experiences in meditation come in the midst of nature. It's not for everybody. Some people, I know a lot of friends don't like nature. The humorist Fran Lebowitz once said that the problem with nature is there's always something biting you or stinging you. So it's not perfect. But I think that particularly people who might be sort of locked in their head and very intellectual, it can be a very surprising way of experiencing God in a new way. So even though out my window all I see are bricks every day and I don't see much sky, I love praying with nature. And I hope that you might find it an entree into experiencing God in a different way.